So, you full of crap or what?
What?
Where's real evidence? Where's your credibility? Where's Twilight with big titties and Izzy who sucks like a vacuum?
What are you talking about?
In your videos to the public, in your videos to me. All I hear about is Smear Crispy, living the Epstein dream. But then I watch, and the only thing crispy about your videos is the microphone quality.
That's right.
Screw you, you idiot!
Okay, I'm an idiot, but you must admit, I have the best line in bullshit you ever heard.
Yeah, this I know, asshole.
Welcome to the couch of really strange conversation. Bet you weren't expecting to see me in this again, were you? I'll be honest, I was never anticipating making a video like this again. Not because I wasn't expecting to do this sort of format where it's like me, camera, microphone, talk. More that I'm in the process of moving currently, and I was expecting this couch to go out to the dump today and I'd never sit on it again. But I guess much like most things in my life, nothing goes out without a bang. Much like banging on a terrible old smelly couch and then exclaiming, "Hi, I was amazing," at the end, let's talk about lies and deceit. Specifically, let's talk about Ryan's lies and deceit, because you're never going to believe this. He did it again, somehow worse than last time. Don't ask me how. I'm kidding. Say what you want about Ryan's first attempt, but if I didn't have the raw recording of the Izzy Moonbutt scandal, I would have been done for. He was this close at spinning a yarn successfully, and you know what? I gotta give him props for that. But it seems like with this one, he rushed it out and just didn't give a shit, because everything I needed to disprove pretty much everything he said in this video was found in like less than 20 minutes. My man didn't even fucking try. Ryan, what were you doing for the last 3 weeks? Jerking your Wi-Fi willy to the MILF from Powerpuff Girls, which I know you're obsessed with? Get a grip, and not on your cock. Let's get into it. His video starts with an uninterrupted 1 minute and 9 seconds of a, props to him, pretty well executed loading screen parody, filled with tweets and this specific blurred image, which we will get to. After that slog of 1 minute 9 seconds I'm never getting back, the actual video starts.
It seems that after 2.5 months of hiding behind a private Twitter account and deleting their YouTube channel, they finally have decided to come clean.
He starts off with like, hey, Crispy's back, and this time he's back with a vengeance and all that shit. Slog. He's padding this out. Just get to the point.
Apparently, they are innocent, and that making videos with 15-year-old boys is somehow okay, when in reality, it's very fucking weird. And I'm not the only person who thinks that.
Porn that you fabricated. And not just once, but twice.
Because the minor who was involved in that exact scandal coincidentally made this revealing tweet months before this scandal was brought to the public.
Ah, okay, this. Right. So, this was a legitimate tweet. It wasn't until Aaron and I watched this video together that he remembered the context, so here's what Aaron remembers. This is when TCAF was in its sort of early growing stages around this time. I'd say this was just after the Graham Kelly episode. I tweeted out to the rapidly growing fan base running the show, hey, do you have any suggestions on who I should speak about next? And then Aaron replied with this as a bit. Ryan actually states seconds later that,
and of course Crispy will likely brush it off as a joke, just like he did in response to every other thing that happened between him and the minor.
Well, there's two things, Ryan, here. One, it's not brushing it off if it's true, and two, good job twisting that out of context. I said after that sentence I would have taken it out also due to the fact that how it was twisted and manipulated. It was rather the joke just didn't land when this has been twisted so heavily. Of course, shit's gonna look different and you go, if I had the chance, I'd go back in time and like take that out. Because of course you would. But you didn't include that. I wonder why. Surely not because you wanted to save your own ass, given that you were the biggest player in said clip being twisted in the first place. Not you. Not little old Ryan.
It is no different to sending nudes to a kid and then saying it was a joke, because there was pornography involved, and I'll talk about it later in the video.
Okay, so this image, as well as one more image, is the big bombshell that Ryan spends the next several minutes hyping up. But I'm just going to spoil this specific image he brings up in this little preview. This is an art piece made by somebody under the name of Redwix. It depicts a humanized Twilight Sparkle doing some JRPG manner magic shit, compromising of a tank top, a corset, and tattered cape-esque dress, as well as like a sword on her back. And I want you to just look. Every time Ryan shows this image, you can see the shadows of the corset and the tattered dress, kilt thingy. And on the left of this image is the NSFW rendition, which I have censored. You're welcome. There's no shadows, there's no dress cascading down her thighs, nor is there even a sword on her lower back. All she has are gloves, leggings, and like a dagger sheath on her thigh. So basically all the things that Ryan shows in his like little preview, blurred preview, are from the Safer Work image. Like seriously, you can see every element of the Safer Work rendition behind the blur. And also like in this shot here, where he like shows it on the result page, which we'll get into with the second image, because that's interesting. So there's image 1, just debunked off the bat. Okay, let's get back to his rambling until we get to image 2.
Come on, did you honestly think I would lie about something to this extent?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you would, because you fucking did. Not just once, but at this point twice.
Sure, I might make a silly comedic style video every now and then, but falsely accusing people of doing sketchy stuff with kids is not something I have a history of.
Well, yeah. Because you've only just started. History always has a starting point, Ryan. You think the volcano that melted Pompeii just manifested overnight one time and everyone went, ooh, volcano?
While I was concerned about the risks of potentially getting a YouTube community guideline strike for nude content, Crispy should have been concerned about protecting the vulnerable innocence of his 15-year-old friend.
No, I wasn't worried. Because you just outright lied about what Aaron saw. No image in that page would have given you a strike for nudity. Nothing that Aaron nor I saw was at any capacity innocence draining or anything of the type. You know what was? The smear campaign that you and your colleagues put both of us through. When Aaron stood up for me, instead of bowing down to what you wanted to do, you turned him from a victim of Crispy into an accomplice to Crispy. Overnight. During this entire thing, I struggled with addiction to pain medication. Because of all of this, I was diagnosed with a fucking heart condition. I stopped eating for days at a time because I just didn't see the point in nourishing myself when I felt so malnourished, when I felt so drained. I lost friends, I lost my channel, I lost everything because of you and your circle of fucking gremlins. Aaron suffered too. He had countless sleepless nights. There would be times where he'd call me at 3 in the morning for me, sobbing. He could barely get out of bed. He could barely go to school. If even one of us hadn't been strong-willed to see through this, you would have blood on your hands. What Ryan's shown in his video, right? The sensor bars and all that to make it look like Aaron's seen some horse pussy.
Again, Crispy saw what he wanted to see, kind of like that time when he thought he had a stalker in his neighbourhood.
Oh! So you knew about Blocko Bob and the stalking saga that decimated any credibility and trust people ever had in him. You knew about that, and how people could see through his bullshit, and you took his origin of that out of context clip anyway? There was a theory I had at one point that you were Blocko Bob the entire time. Think about it. The editing styles between you and Blocko are quite similar. Brendan's friend Zach was outed as the decoy voice shown in one of the stalking clips.
Well, guess what? You fucking lied! Because I'm the one in charge!
Is that why Zach and Brandon stopped talking? Did he cut a deal with you? Is this a fucking web of dipshits?
Oh, I'm sorry for being concerned about a child who is showing a crucial red flag that would suggest they were a victim of child grooming.
Don't you ever fucking act like you ever cared about him. Don't you ever sincerely act like you gave a shit. I've seen him in his worst of times and he has seen me in my worst of times. We are like brothers. Our friendship has been through a type of hell that you would have no inkling of understanding for. You and your friends tried to run him into the ground when he didn't bow down and do what you wanted him to do. Don't you ever act like you cared about him. Don't you use his name like that.
Then Crispy made a big deal in saying that I ignored his message on Twitter, which was basically a paragraph telling his side of the story.
What? So you admit to fucking ignoring it. You saw it and you ignored it. I had faith in you when I sent that. I figured, hopefully, you'd do the right thing. I had faith that you'd be a mature adult because, judging by your looks, you're older than me by a long shot. I'm 21 next week. But no, you read it and left it in the shadows so you could get a quick watch time grab with my name in the title. And said to Ryan, mate, none of what you're seeing is like fully legit. Anyway. Well, yeah, but that's been exposed as a fucking fraud. Why do you bring that clip up when everyone knows you twisted the facts? Do you think there'll be like a weird, like, subliminal messaging, oh, I did this, don't worry about what you saw? Like, do you think there's going to be like anything resembling that, Ryan?
Do you seriously expect that a person who you suspect may have groomed a child would give you a straight answer?
The question is, you fucking dipshit, why did you immediately jump to the suspicion of, oh, Crispy did it? I posit it's because you knew your next move from the moment you commented on one of Blocko's videos. You didn't suspect it because you thought it was true. You suspected it because you knew you could use it for your own self-interest.
If actions speak louder than words, then why did Crispy delete his YouTube channel on the day he needed it most?
You know the reason! You show the tweet that has me promoting the condensed version in which I actively explained why I deleted my channel. I explained it with crystal fucking clarity.
So I'm editing this little 5-minute or whatever 10-minute version of the video, and I realized I never actually got into why I deleted my channel, if I'm innocent. So I'm going to give you a very brief rundown. My thought process was keep everything up, and people can continue to twist stuff, and the extent of how bad it could get bigger and bigger and bigger. Take everything down, and they only have whatever they've downloaded thus far. Really dumb, like really dumb in hindsight, but I was very irrational. I was panicking, and in that moment, you can't do anything to kind of lessen how bad it could get. So that's that.
Good job leaving that out.
You cannot show any of that.
No. Oh, wow. It's all out. Look at that. Aaron was streaming.
It may have happened on the miner's computer, but whose YouTube channel did it end up being on? He's trying to blame the kid for what happened despite the fact they not only knew it was going to happen, but Crispy chose to keep it in the final edit.
Well, there's two things with this specifically. One, Aaron isn't a YouTuber, and B, as I stated, that you've just very conveniently not told, scripted beforehand was a mere prompt of misspell a name, see what comes up. That's what the script was. It was prompts. Like, come on, dude. Shot.
In my original video, I only showed you the suggestive moments.
No, you didn't. That entirely contradicts what you said in your original video. Listen, here's a supercut of times that you either implied or stated it was pornographically explicit in nature.
A video in which Crispy allows Aaron, the 15-year-old miner, to be exposed to sexual pony-related artwork. Crispy exposed the miner to NSFW on his own YouTube channel, their own idea to look at the explicit content. I mean, when has it ever been acceptable for an adult to show NSFW to minors? It never has been. It's illegal. It's child sexual exploitation.
Share of NSFW content to minors.
We already know that Crispy shared NSFW with a minor. The reality is, Crispy shared NSFW to a minor and he doesn't know what to do about it. I still want to know why Crispy thought it was appropriate to share NSFW with Aaron, the 15-year-old minor. It's time we debunk his bullshit of a defense, because that filter he talked about was never even applied, therefore meaning the minor was in fact exposed to NSFW.
That's not what that means. That is not what that means, you moron. It means this. Here's an example of a default filter searching a tag that will come up in a minute. Behaving like a cat, okay? When you click this box, Ryan's trying to spin as something here, it shows, in this case, one tag. A tag that is so pure and innocent and safe for work, at least with a filter that hides explicit material. When it comes to doing your own research, you don't fucking dig deep, do you? Now, given I've debunked the Twilight image, let's debunk the only other image he tried to spin this time around. Thank God there's only two, because if there were more, this would be humiliating for you, Ryan. But this one, found underneath the tag Behaving Like a Cat, in which Aaron and I were trying to find a horse rendition of our favourite cat meme, full of soup, full of uranium, full of milk, full of parasite, you know, shit like that. But yeah, we were trying to find a pony version of that sort of format, hence the cult-like chanting of soup, 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 soup. This is an art piece drawn by somebody going under the name of Immune Fox, and much like the Twilight image shown earlier, there is an NSFW rendition, but there's a number of things with what Ryan has done here that just blatantly exposes his deceit. First, if we truly didn't have the filter applied like you've claimed, why didn't the other version appear directly next to it in the search results? Because if you search and find that page with no filter enabled where everything is, you know, shown, both versions appear right next to each other. Because they were uploaded at the exact same fucking time. Derpy Brew result pages work in a chronological upload order by default. In this clip that Ryan is showing, it's the safe for work version. You know how I know it's a safe for work version? Because Ryan censored the wrong fucking area on this horse cat's lower half. Look, in the NSFW version, right, the genitalia is located right between the glutes. What Ryan is showing, and obviously made himself, has the censor bar up there, where a cock would be. Oops. Bad mistake there, Ryan. Are you sure you didn't do it on purpose? You did this intentionally. Come on, this is the laziest hack job of a petty comeback I've ever seen. Necessarily wrong with what was shown,
thereby proving the images were in fact sexual, and that Crispy did in fact sexually exploit a minor for views despite claiming to be an advocate for child safety throughout their time as a predator catcher in their series known as To Catch a Philly Fiddler. On the subject of To Catch a Philly Fiddler, let's not forget how that series started. I made a video exposing the Brand and the Brody Pony situation, and Crispy was so inspired by my work, he not only made an entire series about it, he also referred to me as a good friend.
A good friend of mine, RyanOnWifi, made a video about Brendan where he went through a DeviantArt DM given to him by an at the time 15-year-old victim. Holy shit, Ryan said something true about me. Oh my god, only took you a month and a half. Yeah, TCAF began with Ryan's expose on Brandon, the Brony Pony, and his weird Discord DeviantArt antics. I reached out to him and in no uncertain terms said, I have an idea, can I use your footage? Which I did. That then began TCAF, and that's where this iconic blazer was first used. I'm shocked it still fits, if I'm honest. I've lost a lot of weight, so I'm shocked this isn't hanging off me. I figured we were friends, also, by the way, because you said you enjoyed my work, and you said you were open to working with me on a project. To me, that's an invitation of friendship.
Well, Crispy recently had the audacity to call me a horrible source that should not be taken seriously, which is kind of ironic considering the only reason he became relevant in the first place is because he put faith in me and took me seriously.
Well, yeah. Because at the time, when the Brandon shit was going on, you were trusted. You were someone that the fandom appreciated having around. You broke a story about a pretty popular dude in this fandom being a nonce. That is something that earns respect and loyalty. But then you shot yourself in your foot. Twice. You've lost both feet. First shot in your left foot was fired with the infamous Joker Arc convention that everyone flamed you for, to which you responded by not just doubling, but tripling down on your arguments to bankrupt conventions because they invite the same people a lot, I guess? And then you made a video going full leafy mode, which I wish there was an archive of. I can't find it, but I remember it very vividly. You made a video going full leafy mode and just poked fun at Drummershai's hair, calling him a troll doll, made homophobic statements about people like AC Racebest and Black Griffon over like an onstage gag where like AC Racebest pulls Black Griffon's belt off of his mouth or something, and you called Silver Quill obese for having breakfast at a panel that took place at fucking dawn, which is rich coming from you. You look like if Shrek and Bubbles had a kid who eats nothing but Frito-Lays 24/7. The second shot in your right foot was lying about me and Aaron's friendship and twisting the facts of the truth to suit your own needs. And while your original video somehow worked and I made the mistake of waiting too long to respond, I refuse to let you get away with it again. No one is going to let you get away with it again.